Alright, ARCA at North Wilkesboro. This is a lot different than I thought it would be. Like, nothing like the last time we were here, and I don't know why. I guess it's nighttime versus daytime, but it's crazy. There's no grip on this track, so we're going to talk about how to navigate it, navigate a track with no grip. So first off, I'm going to set up for the corner. Probably won't have hot enough tires for a good lap on the first lap, so we're just going to set up for the second lap. But what I want to do for the turn is brake early, no over driving. Get the car to turn down, make a late apex down here. Well, that's pretty good. Almost enough grip. And then early braking, get all the way down to the bottom here, get it to the line, just roll the bottom, roll it, patient, 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 full throttle if I can get the wheel straight. Nice. And now this is what happens when you overdrive the corner. It gets a lot harder. Still pretty decent there on the speed. It's just a lot more difficult to navigate. And then late apexing to the bottom here. Gonna have to give a little bit more of it up. But it looks like lap 2 is still faster than lap 1, even if it's a little sloppy. That first lap was like my line that I want to do. And then the lap 2 was just having more heat in the tires. So let's go take a look at that. I'm going to show you guys the lap 1, just because I think that's the cleaner line that you should be aiming for. And then lap 2 is when you should be doing it, because you're going to have more heat in the tires to do it. So first off, on the run up, you don't really want to start by the wall because there's just no grip up there. So I just use my brake to get the car pointed down to the bottom and really try to wide sweeping late apex this right here. I'm just trying to straighten out the wheel like before the corner is even ending, so I can get full throttle, get a good run. Doesn't matter too much because I'm going to be on the brake right after the start finish line. So we're going to be using a little more brake here than you're used to, because we actually got to slow the car down or else it's not going to make the corner. So now instead of my max braking being 20%, it's now like 30 to 40%. So just hold that brake, and then once I start turning the wheel, I have to let go of that brake. If I still have that amount of brake, if I have this amount of brake in the car as I'm starting to really turn into the corner, that's going to either kick out the rear and make me slide, or it's going to cause me to just lock up and get really tight in the corner. So I'm aiming at the first white dash lines right here to start out with. I really want to get my car to hook those white dash lines or around there. And then at a certain point, I can use my gas once we slow down the car enough to, and we're going to add steering wheel here too. It's okay to add steering wheel in the center of the corner at a place like here where it really needs it. So once I'm able to trail brake, add enough steering wheel to turn the car down the track, I want to try to make a big late apex corner straight line as much as you can do it, so I can get to almost full throttle before I even get to the gas. And then as I unload the wheel, that's when I go full throttle. Okay, 3 and 4 kind of the same. These corners are almost kind of the same shape, but they drive very differently. So braking technique is going to be the same. Brake to slow down at about 30 to 40%. Turn the wheel, back it down to a trail. Now, 3 and 4 you can run in a similar way than I did in 1 and 2, but I really think it's more consistent for me personally to early brake, get all the way to the bottom, and then just ride that bottom line. You can go for more speed with a wider angle, but shortcutting the track when there's this little grip is really nice. And then at the same time, it's just more consistent for me to not have to rely on anything besides kind of waiting at the bottom of the track. Get as close to the curb as possible without touching it. Don't want to miss it because you'll miss out on a lot of grip. And then only go full throttle when you can straighten out the wheel. That's a huge, huge thing that we'll talk about in long run too. So in terms of long run, this is going to be a battle of consistency, because if you slide your tires once, you're going to heat them up. It's going to make them easier to slide again, so on and so on and so on. If you overdrive the corner once, you're probably going to slide your tires because there's no real way to recover overdriving the corner at North Wilkesboro with this amount of grip in the track. So you're going to be at a disadvantage from there on out. So you just don't want to overdrive the corners. Get the car pointed down. Same line in 1 and 2. Really don't force the gas early. Going to brake early to get to the bottom here. There's some bumps down there that make it so that you don't really want to be too aggressive on it. but I'm just always braking early on these types of combos where there's no grip on a short track, because the risk versus reward is just too high. Now you're going to have some of the... What makes a short track specialist a short track specialist is their ability to... Oh, you see how I slid my tires a bit there? That was almost really bad. It should be okay. I didn't slide them too bad, but there is going to be a little decreasing grip for the next couple laps if I don't take care of it. But what I was saying is, the best people in short tracks are able to brake at the perfect spots every time and never go over. Me personally, I'm not quite there, so I like to just brake a little bit early, just so that because I value consistency more than top end at this type of short track combo. Ooh, that's what happens when we hit the curb, apparently. We're going to try a different line too, because that bottom line is not the only line that works in 3 and 4. In fact, it might not even be the fastest line. Doing something like we do in 1 and 2 here might be faster in 3 and 4. So this time I'm going to step a little bit wider, brake a little bit earlier. I had to brake a little bit more, get the turn down, never got the turn down there. But as you get more and more into this race, it's going to be even earlier turn-ins and braking. At a certain point, the tires should kind of equalize to where you're pretty much locked in after like lap 20 of the race, doing more or less the same line. I know some people kind of make the outside work too. I'll try that in a second here, but I don't think it'll work with this current amount of grip, because you can't really keep up your momentum. There's so little grip here. We're going to try the outside line here one more time. The outside line will definitely work better on 3 and 4 the later you get into the run, because the car won't have to get the car gripped up at the bottom. Alright, let's try this. Outside line. That's pretty fast. This might end up being fairly multi-groove for a short track. 3 and 4, I had to overslow the car. Ooh, that is not what you want to do. That top line I like in 1 and 2, but because of the whatever reason, 3 and 4 doesn't work as well for me. Let's try it again now. At first you don't succeed, right? So I'm gonna dive it a little bit deeper, get the car pointed, so I can get the run off the corner. And we'll go back to the bottom after this lap and compare. This one just feels worse on the tires. Oh, my bad. I guess I have to do another one on top then. Do a couple more laps here, so I just want to show you guys one good lap on top and one good lap on the bottom. Notice how I'm kind of diamonding the outside. That's about the best you can do. Patience. Don't want to force it or else it's going to slide the rear. Gosh darn it. Well, let's try the bottom anyways. So honestly, I think they're pretty equal. 3 and 4 might actually be better. Yeah, I like 3 and 4 better at the bottom. 1 and 2 you might want to run the top, especially if you're in a side-by-side battle. 3 and 4 I bet it could make it work, but for whatever reason it just felt way less consistent for me up there. Less grip. You can see right rear, that was all from that one slide. You see what happens there. You heat it up to almost right front temperatures. And then look at the left rear. It's like so much hotter than the left front too. And then tire wear, you'll lose a little bit too. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all on the track.